new at this hour. Crime scene tape and a patrol car surround the scene where 5 people lost their lives early this morning. Right now, controversy here at North Little Rock City Hall, it sure is heating up now that a second city alderman also faces federal charges tonight. Anything you like to say?
Yeah, get the out of here. Get out of here.
Okay. If there's anything she wanted to say, we wanted to let her. Marshals need your help finding a known gang member who's known to carry a gun. Boots and even umbrellas are a must, but so is patience, because when the water gets this deep, the only concern now, when will it reach into their home? But again, he doesn't claim to be always right. He says, Kevin, that he is about 70% of the time. We are drenched. As you can see, the water is coming down as I speak. And I want you to take a look at this right here. When it rains like this, people respect you. Nothing you want to say at all. That's all along.
You know what Manolo Blahniks are, right?
You see how I kind of tried to jump around? Answering your question.
Anyone who watches Sex and the City, they know what Manolo Blahniks are.
I'm sure they do.
They're shoes, Brent.
Okay, I got you.
Very expensive shoes, I might add.
I'll add that to my list of knowledge.
Don't even worry about it.
Kevin, you've got to get a look at this one. Right now we're on the scene and traffic on Asher Avenue just past University is being rerouted. The accident happened just behind me at Fair Park, and you just really have to see the pictures to get the full extent of what happened here. Take a look. In just a matter of seconds, orange flames filled the scene as an 18-wheeler hauling frozen foods collided with the driver of a pickup truck. It may be hard to believe, but fortunately, both drivers made it out of the 2 vehicles. The driver of the pickup was transported to Baptist Hospital for treatment. The driver of the 18-wheeler is doing just fine. He actually remained on the scene, cooperating with investigators and fire crews as they battled the blaze.
The fire marshal on the scene said that fire probably started because of the spark due to the accident itself, and the ruptured gas lines and things of that nature spilled out gasoline on the street, and that's what sparked the fire.
And as you can see, crews are still on the scene right now. They're cleaning up any hazardous materials that may have spilled onto the ground, diesel and gasoline in particular from the 2 vehicles. And I just finished speaking with the driver of the 18-wheeler, and he told me he is just so glad that he made it out and the other driver made it out. When I asked him, what do you make of this wreck? He said, it's just a truck. Live in Little Rock, Brent Solomon, Fox 16 News. Well, Kevin, today things appear to be normal at this Taco Bell on Asher and University, but less than 24 hours ago, a different scene with investigators, crime scene tape, customers and employees wondering, how could this happen? Of course, Fox 16 was there as frantic employees full of emotion immediately after robbers showed up with a gun, demanding money, and then shooting employee Frederick Cohen. Cohen was shot in the stomach and immediately rushed to Baptist Hospital. It happened just after 9 p.m. Tuesday. One employee told me, out of nowhere, someone showed up with a gun. She said she immediately yelled, and one employee took for cover inside a freezer. What makes this so bizarre? Police say the robbers actually got away with cash when they then decided to shoot the employee. Just moments after that shooting, we caught up with a witness who doesn't want to be identified, but he says he saw something out of the ordinary.
I was actually on my way home. I mean, I just saw the young man with the gun in his hand chasing the other guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I saw. I was the one that called 911.
What do you think about this since you were there, man?
I mean, just know not to come to Taco Bell at night.
I spoke with the manager at Taco Bell last night. He said he had no comment. Meanwhile, officials at Baptist Hospital today told me the employee has been treated and released. His fellow employees here at Taco Bell say they're so glad he made it out alive. After all, he was only doing his job. Live in Little Rock, Brent Solomon, Fox 16 News.
With more on the investigation, Brent.
Well, you know, Kevin, right now, Little Rock police are investigating 42-year-old Shane Montgomery. The Little Rock pastor made headlines earlier this year for holding church services inside of this bar. Well, tonight he faces charges that are more controversial than that whole concept. And we want to warn you, some of the accusations are graphic.
We choose to listen to the people that Jesus called us to reach.
That's 42-year-old Shane Montgomery talking to Fox 16 on a pre-Easter interview this year. Tonight, the former pastor of the River Church is facing felony assault charges. A 16-year-old boy told investigators the former pastor of the River Church sexually assaulted him when he was 15 years old. Some of the details are too graphic for us to repeat. According to police, Montgomery actually admitted having oral sex and fondling the teenager, but denies any other allegations.
The touching and the oral, that's as bad as doing the whole way, in my opinion.
Many of the people we shared the news with were at a loss for words.
Not only that it happened, but that he admitted that it happened.
A 15-year-old is still a child.
Today, the River Church issued a statement saying its members are remorseful for the situation and want to help the victim's family in the, quote, healing process.
That's where you're supposed to be safe, is with a pastor.
We visited Montgomery's home today for comment. No one answered the door.
But in his position, think of all the people that he let down.
Now, staff at the River Church say they are prepared to offer professional counseling to the victim and his family as they get through this situation. By the way, Montgomery resigned today. We're live in Little Rock. Brent Solomon, Fox 16 News.
Brent, do we know how the pastor and this young boy allegedly met, or when police say the allegations occurred?
Kevin, I do know. According to police, they met online before meeting face-to-face earlier this summer.
Very interesting. Brent Solomon live in Little Rock.